My name is Jerico Masangay. I am a senior at West High School. And for me, with how I've been dealing with this whole thing, I work at Walmart, so I'm a supervisor there, and I've for a long time, ever since this thing has started, I've kind of watched it get more serious and serious in town. And with Walmart being one of the very few things that are open, luckily for me, I've been pretty busy, but at the same time, it's weird because I wasn't necessarily ready for like school to kind of be stripped away like that. It was quick and it was blunt, and it just happened the way it happened, and it's still really not setting in for me.
Before the statewide school closure happened on March 16th, what did your senior schedule look like as far as classes and assignments go?
For me, it was pretty relaxed. I did a lot of work in my freshman and sophomore year, so that when I did get to my senior year, I could kind of coast. I only had 4 classes this year, so it was a pretty relaxed schedule. I wasn't necessarily stressing out too much about school. It was overall a pretty relaxed schedule. My regular day was wake up, go to school, usually around like 10 o'clock because I didn't have morning classes. And then after that, as soon as I got off school, I go to work and I'd come home, do whatever homework I had. So it was really relaxing. It wasn't actually as stressful as it was for a lot of other people, but it was all right.
Do you have a favorite subject?
Well, as far as the core class goes, I was big into history. I really liked history. It was interesting to me learning about things from before and things in the past, and also giving you a better understanding of what's going on now, that kind of thing. But as far as electives go, I was big into Davis's film media class. That was kind of my thing. But yeah, all that's kind of gone now.
And that's Mr. Davis, our mutual friend, right?
Yeah, my teacher coach buddy. Yeah.
Right on. So what does your schedule look like now?
Now my schedule is awful. I'm working, full time basically now, and I'm having to fit in online school somewhere, either in the morning or late at night or at lunch. It feels kind of random now. There isn't really any structure anymore. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could sit down and delegate times, but now it's just like after Walmart and after I come home from work, I'm just kind of drained. So I just try to do as much as I can at night, wake up a little earlier, work on some more, but it's pretty random.
Mm-hmm. So you're working full time now. What's that like during this pandemic?
I think the craziest thing for me, like, the job isn't any different, but it's just the way that people interact with each other now. It's, Walmart before, it's Walmart, people are going to be annoyed. People are just trying to shop and they get out. It's usually pretty relaxed, but, overall, I'd say it was, people were nice to each other and people were kind to each other. But now, I have people basically almost fighting each other through 6 feet of space. It's weird now with how scared everybody is. And I understand it, because when I'm at work, I have my gloves on, I have my, my N95 mask on, but it's crazy. I see a lot of people wearing like homemade masks and crazy gas masks at Walmart, and it's different. It feels store feels kind of hostile now. Like, people are coming in to get their toilet paper and their canned food, and they're trying to, speed home, and it's weird. It is a weird feeling. I don't know. I've had a couple really ignorant people, because I'm Asian, Filipino. I've had some pretty ignorant people say a lot of things, like they didn't want me touching their stuff unless I had gloves on. They didn't want me around them unless I had my mask on. So there's been a lot of ignorant people coming through and saying a lot of bad things. But, if you work at Walmart, you kind of have a thick skin anyway. But, I'd say as of this whole pandemic thing, a lot of people are getting a lot dumber.
So getting back to school, is there anything you miss about it?
It really just was the interactions that I had with other seniors. interactions I had with other students, because you know I was pretty friendly with everybody, so it was, it was fun. Every time I was at school, I was having a good time. I was hanging out with my friends. But now, it was kind of an abrupt ending to all of that, because, a lot of those kids, we're not necessarily like friends outside of school. They were just cool friends to hang out with school. So now that it's all kind of over, everybody's kind of stuck at home, and I haven't seen a lot of any of them. I've only seen my closer friends. But now with this, with the curfew and everything, it's getting even harder and harder. It's kind of forcing you just to stay home and do nothing, really.
Mm-hmm. So how are you dealing with that, with the hunker down mandate or the quarantine?
The hunker down thing, it hasn't been too hard on me, because, I have a little home gym set up. I have, homework to do now, and I have, video games to play. So it isn't terrible, but at the same time, I'm a social dude, and I like being out. I like doing things, and especially now that the snow's melting and the sun's coming out and everything, it is getting a little bit harder. I know a lot of other kids are taking it pretty tough, because usually this is the time that you're going outside. You're going out having fun and hanging out, but, now we're all kind of forced to stay in here and be in a room.
So besides work, what does your daily routine look like?
Well, as of right now, I try to get up at like 10 or 9 and get a couple hours of homework in before I go to work at 3. Surprisingly, you get a lot more chores done being stuck at home. I've gotten a lot of that stuff done. Me and my family have been hanging out a lot more, just hanging out, watching movies, that kind of thing. So it has its upsides. It's, in a sense, it's kind of forcing people to talk to each other inside and hang out and do other things. So it's been good and bad, but my schedule's been really just get up, do homework, go to work, get up, do homework, go to work, and it's all right.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about not having prom?
That was a big thing for me, because my senior year, the way I looked at it, it was kind of a year that you do everything that you didn't do your first 3 years of high school. You go experience. Like, I didn't go to my junior prom because I didn't see the point of going, because I thought it was a senior thing. So I was ready to go to prom this year and all that, and having that taken away it kind of sucked. But at the same time, I'm not too worried about it, because I understand why they did it. But still, that was a pretty bad thing.
When you imagined going to prom, what kinds of things did you think about?
Oh man, like I've been in a healthy relationship for the past 2.5 years now. So for me, it was just having my girlfriend get pretty and all that, and me putting on a suit for once. I've never worn a suit. I'm a big sweatpants kind of guy, so it's like it was a day or a week to kind of dress up and hang out with all your friends, take a lot of pictures, make a lot of memories. So that was really it for me. I just wanted to go for the memory's sake of saying that I was able to go to my senior prom with all my friends and my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. How about graduation? What do you think about not being able to graduate in the traditional way?
That was the biggest hit for me, is that I've talked with a lot of other seniors in this. I've kind of gotten a lot of input on this, and a lot of us are in agreement that it kind of made everything feel a little useless. Like we understand that the credits and the classes and everything go to college and whatnot, but like a lot of us, that graduation ceremony is what kind of really wraps it up. It kind of, we all get to sit next to each other and listen to the speeches and get up and walk and get our diplomas and go with our family. And it was just a really big deal for me, because in my family there wasn't a lot of high school graduates. So for me, I really wanted to get across that stage and give it off to my mom and my dad so they could go hang it up somewhere. But now with that all kind of gone, and it's up in the air. I've talked to my other teachers and my counselors about what they're going to do. They don't even know. I mean, right now I'm kind of just accepting the fact that it's not going to happen. But it was, for me, that was like the big, you did it, you finished it kind of moment. And now it's kind of like a cliffhanger almost. We're kind of thinking we did it. A lot of us don't really know what's going on, because as of right now, we just have to type a couple things on Google Docs, and if you do all of them one day, you graduate. So it's kind of weird right now. It's kind of, everything's up in the air, and all of us are just confused.
So it feels pretty unceremonious.
Yeah, it feels like I don't feel accomplished anymore. Like, I feel like all the work that I put in to my senior year to graduate on time and everything, and graduate with my friends, it really feels kind of just down the drain, because now we're all sitting here in front of computers. Some kids finished all their online classes now, so like, those kids are graduated. Some of them aren't going to do it, and it just feels weird now knowing that this is what it is now.
You said that you had talked to a few teachers about graduation, and none of them really have any like clear path about an alternative. Have any of them like expressed any ideas to you about an alternative?
Like, I've talked to a couple of them, and they've said stuff like finding a different location, or having a graduation that's limited in size, maybe breaking it up into two, and having, this letter of the alphabet through this letter of the alphabet, they'll do it this day and do it that day, limiting family members and everything. But like, I'd rather have everybody there, and I wouldn't want to limit family members. So, I mean, if we did it that way, I think it would still feel like you wouldn't have everybody there, and you can only have your dad or your mom or your brother. You couldn't have them all. There's been some ideas, but, nothing that will give you nothing as good as normal graduation.
How did you imagine graduation going before COVID-19?
Oh man, I was coasting. I was gonna just hang out all of spring break, and when I get back, I was just, because I'm pretty good at school. Like, school's never really been too hard for me. So when I get to school, just do all my work, turn it in, have a good time while I'm there, be happy, and like, next thing you know, graduation rolls around. Like, my senior year has went by so fast, especially with playing football and everything, and half that year went by so fast, and then every day was just counting down to graduation. And like, in theory, we're supposed to graduate May something, but now it's dependent on how fast you can get your online class done. So it was weird, because I was coasting and I was ready to go, but now I gotta sit here and do all these before I can even go anywhere.
Earlier you said that you have to fill out like a document, or you have to do some writing every day, and then after you finish all that, then you're basically graduated. Can you explain what those assignments look like?
We use this thing called what is it called again? It's called Canvas. Canvas is where we do our assignments. Basically, I think it was as of last night, they posted all the assignments. Like, today is the official start of online school. So basically, you go in and you read these lessons, and it's basically, simple, like, critical thinking questions, review questions. Like, right now, I was in English 4, but since they don't have an English 4 class offered on Canvas, they switched us over to mythology. So right now, I'm basically reading through different mythology stories, and the questions are stuff like, what purpose did this myth serve to people? How does this impact people? And you just open it up on a Google Doc, copy and paste the questions, and then answer all the questions in full sentences, that kind of thing. And then you turn it in, and then our teachers grade it. But you can really do it at your own pace. Like, I know some kids that stayed up last night to the exact moment that they dropped, and a lot of them are like halfway done already. But it's really how you want to do it. Like, for me, I'm just going to do as much as I can. I'm not going to try and cram it into one day. But you just basically, from what I know, like, no one's finished yet, so I'm not sure what happens after. Like, I don't know if, like, I turn everything in and then they email me my diploma or something, but right now I'm just kind of trying to work through it. And in theory, they said that there's enough work here to, like, if you do a little bit here and there, you'll finish it, like, on time for graduation. But at the same time, if you don't do them, I think the end date is the 24th of May. So that's past graduation, but you could still, get it in by then. But what I'm wondering is what happens to the kids that don't even do it. Like, I know there's a lot of kids that are going to slack and they don't even want to do anything. So, like, I wonder if they just don't do it, what can they do? Because, I don't know. It's weird. It's a big what if. I don't even know yet.
Do you have any friends that are like, I'm not going to do this?
I've had a lot of kids say they're not going to do it, but a lot of us at this point are just so ready to graduate and so ready to not deal with this stuff anymore that we will. But a lot of us are taking it pretty seriously. A lot of us are doing it because we're stuck at home so much. Might as well do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't met anyone straight up that just says they won't do it. I've had a lot of people that say, they've kind of bounced around the idea of not doing it, and but those jokes are only coming from kids that have straight A's. You know what I mean? Like they could afford to fail these things and pass with a B. But kids that have D's and C's, they got to do this, or else they're not going to graduate.
And I would imagine there are a lot of students who are much more hands-on. Like they need to be a part of the action for the learning experience to mean anything.
For sure. That's me 100%. This is so terrible, sitting here reading and typing and reading and typing. And it's just, it's not the way that I learn. Like you said, I'm super hands-on. Like I need you to show me. I need a person to show me and a person to be there so I can ask questions and allow me to mess up a little bit. Like that's the thing with online school, is that it's really pointed at a certain student. You can't really ask any questions. You just have to be able to sit here and have the willpower to read this thing, 50 times if you need to find the answer and put it in there, and hopefully you get it right. But for me, I'm struggling because it's weird sitting here staring at a screen.
Mm-hmm. What was your last day of school like?
You would think that I would remember, but it was such a regular day that I don't, like it was the day before spring break. So everybody was happy to go to spring break. I didn't really have any plans during spring break because I had to work anyway, but everybody was in a pretty good mood. Everybody was planning their trips and everything. Everybody was ready to go. So it was a really relaxed, fun day. And it's kind of weird to think that it's my last school day, because I feel like if I would have known, I would have said goodbye to some people, and I would have, got some numbers and try to keep in contact. But it's like now, I honestly don't even remember all the people I see in a day anymore. I can only remember my closer friends.
You said that if you would have known that that was your last day, you would have kind of made more of an effort to connect with some friends. Are you keeping in contact with friends now?
See, that's the thing. I'm trying to, but I can only really keep in contact with my close friends. And, like a lot of my friends were out of jobs, so I got them jobs at Walmart. So I see them at work. But it's not the same as hanging out at school and hanging out at lunch, that kind of thing. So I haven't been able to talk to anybody that is outside of my close friend group. Like we have occasional Zoom meetings with our teachers and stuff, and we get to see, other kids, but it's not really like a hangout. We're all kind of there to see what the teacher has to say, and then after that we hang up and go do schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, a lot of us, we're seeing each other. We see each other on social media, that kind of thing. But, even if I wanted to reach out, we can't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any plans after graduation?
Well, my plan, actually, I already bought a graduation trip to Hawaii that I had planned. But I'm pretty sure I can't go anymore because I don't think we're allowed to fly. It was actually supposed to be, I believe I had it set for like May 25th to June 10th, I think is what it was. And I was super excited to go. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, that kind of thing. And my girlfriend's family lives over there, so they were going to throw us like a huge graduation party, and it was going to be super dope. And then now we can't fly, so that kind of sucks.
Do you feel like your life has been put on hold at all?
Yeah. I keep telling my coworkers this, and they don't really understand because a lot of my coworkers are a lot older than me. But it really does, like, I lose track of what day it is. Like, I didn't even really know it was Tuesday. I'm not even sure if it is Tuesday. Like, I'm kind of just waking up and going to work. And, before all of this happened, I was super ready for SAT prep, and I was visiting with college people to talk about scholarships, and I was doing all these things to get ready for college. But now it's kind of like I'm just waking up, going to work, and it is weird because I was at such a crazy pace, and now it's like I'm kind of stagnant,
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned college. Do you know what college you're going to?
I'm going to UAA.
And do you know what your major is going to be?
I thought I did it at first, like a lot of other high schoolers, but I decided that the best option was to go in and do my first 2 years and, see what best fits me, because there's a lot of professions that I feel like I'd be good at. As of right now, I kind of want to go into teaching and see where that teaching route could take me, mainly because of Coach Davis. Like, that guy changed a lot for me. He's been a big mentor in my life, and like I used to think teaching was lame. Like, you had to be a loser to be a teacher, but now seeing the way that he teaches kids and everything, like, I just see how much fun he has, and it sounds like an awesome profession. I'm also on the fence about going down a form of media route, like journalism or something along those lines. But with media, I'm just trying to think what's going to be well worth it, because media, it's there and it's fun and you have a lot of fun doing it, but it takes a lot of years of doing stuff for free before you can actually start profiting off yourself, and then you have to build a brand. So there's just a lot of different roads that I could go down. It's just trying to see which one I'm ready for at this point.
Mm-hmm. Jericho, that does it for my questions. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I think, honestly, we hit everything. I think the best question, though, was probably, like, feeling like I'm on hold, because I didn't even think about it, but everything does really feel like it's on hold. Like, it's weird. Now I think about it. It is really weird.
For more information about how you can support local grassroots journalism, go to www.patreon.com/Crude Magazine. Thank you to Trina Duber, Seward Brewing Company, The Grind Coffee Shop in Juneau, Derek Adolph, Blue and Gold Board Shop, Sharon Liska, Alaska Surf Adventure, and Aquila Space for their support at the company man level. This conversation was written, hosted, and produced by me, Cody Liska, for Crude Magazine. Music was produced by Alcoda Beats.